Well, if you're here, you know what time it is. This is at Nicole's Place. My name's Chanel Nicole, and it's time for Talk Wednesday. The topic for today is love supposed to be confusing? I thought about this. I actually got the thought last week. I don't know if anybody watched my live, but I was talking about how I wanted to get on last Wednesday and have a talk that had a good topic and that it just didn't work out. So we're here, we're back, and it's time to talk about it. So let's get into this. Maverick. I love my dog. Is love supposed to be confusing? I don't think so. Have you ever asked yourself that question? Is love supposed to be confusing? I think not. I think not. Is should love be confusing? I was thinking about this a lot because bear with me. I wanted to be able to film this outside. It's such a beautiful day, but there is construction outside. So just pre-warning you, just in case you hear a pop or something sporadically here and there, they're doing construction literally down the street, on my street, down the street. So it is what it is. But I was thinking about this. I often have just random thoughts, and I was thinking how relationships are, how we are with our husbands, potential husbands, and just how that works, maybe past relationships. And that topic, that comment, that question came up in my head. That question came up in my head. Is love supposed to be confusing? And I don't believe that was the intent. I don't think it was the intent, because we have a tendency of getting in the way of what love truly is supposed to mean and what biblical love is. And so my random thought that I was thinking of is with our children, we don't think like, okay, I'm just going to try this out. I'm going to have a child test this out, and if it doesn't work out, I'll just give them up. That's not the thought that you have in your head. I'll just let it go and whatever. I'll move on and find another child. That's not your brain process, but we tend to do that with our significant others. We tend to do that with our husbands or our wives. And so if we don't have that type of mindset for a child, why is it that we'll apply that mindset to a marriage or a relationship? Why is it that we're so quick to say, oh, I can just leave and try again if I don't like it? I feel, this is just my personal feelings, that it's because we get in the way of what love is supposed to be. And so I was just thinking about one of my favorite scriptures is 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. And I pulled it up, so I'm just going to read it real quick. And it says, this is the King James Version. Charity, everybody knows this as love is suffereth long, but it's actually charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Now, clearly, I'm not talking about being in a relationship and being abused, because that's not what I just read. That's not what I just read. If you are in a relationship and it is biblical love, it is not supposed to be abuse, insults, physical or mental abuse. It's not supposed to be destructive. You're not supposed to intentionally want to hurt somebody. Will we do things sometimes? Yes, because we are human, and sometimes we make mistakes. And I'm not talking about major mistakes. You shouldn't be going out and cheating. That should not be your intent. Now, that's a whole nother topic. Doors get opened up, that would be a whole another conversation. And if that's something that somebody wants to discuss, comment down below and tell me your thoughts or suggestions about other topics. But this topic is biblical love, and how if we apply it the right way, we can have the love that we're supposed to have. Everybody thinks that the love in the movies is what we're supposed to have. It's supposed to be so glamorous, and it's supposed to be perfect all the time. And that's not how it is, because life happens and other cards impact our relationship. And I always look to my parents for example, because my dad loved my mom and my mom loved my dad. They had biblical love. They respected each other. They both played their parts, their roles in relationships, but they balanced each other out. One didn't do something without the other. They came together, they communicated, they had conversations. And if they had, I can literally count how many arguments my parents had their whole relationship, and they were married for more than 20 years before my dad passed, unfortunately. But it's because they applied the biblical definition of love to their marriage. My dad courted my mom. I believe, if my memory serves me right, I was 15 and I really wasn't into their relationship at the time. But they dated for 6 months, got engaged, and then within the year total of the whole relationship, they were married. And then they were married for over 20 years before my dad passed. So I always look to them for an example, because my dad was what people would call a good dude. He was a good man, and he was concerned about making my mom happy. My mom was concerned about making my dad happy. And because they applied this, their relationship was a good marriage. It was an example of what a marriage is supposed to be. And it's sad that I'm almost 39 years old and I literally only have one true example of biblical love in my life. And that might make somebody feel like, why should I get married? Why should I get married if this is what's out there and everything's free to me and I don't have to do anything? I'm not responsible for somebody else. But if you're looking for biblical love, it is out there. We have a good example of what it's supposed to be. And it doesn't mean that you have to settle. Sometimes it means that you have to wait longer than you would want to. I'm in a season where I'm waiting, because I've been married before and it wasn't biblical love on both sides. And so we suffered because of that. And our wounds passed it down to our child, and we're trying to correct that. And so I'd rather wait now and wait for what it is that God truly has for me, than to just jump into something and be miserable. Because there's nothing worse than being in a marriage and feeling like you're alone. And that's not how it's supposed to be when you read this definition. So that's why it's so important to really apply this principle and to go into a marriage for the right reasons. Like, if you're going into a marriage because you think you'll be financially secure, that is not going to be a good marriage. You might be physically, financially secure, but what about your emotional needs? What about the other needs that come with being in a relationship? You can't seek one thing and then forget about all the other ones. And will all of our needs be met? No, sometimes something might be lacking a little bit, because just think about your daily life. Even today for myself, I wrote down a list of everything I need to get done today, down to the times. During this hour, I'm going to do this. During this hour, I'm going to do this. In my mind, that's my expectation. But guess what? Something is not going to get done on that list today, no matter how hard I try. Because sometimes things just come up and it changes the order of things. So we have to respect each other. We have to be kind to one another. We have to be slow to anger and quick to peace. There's no reason why you should have to fight with your loved one every day of your life. Something's off. if you're fighting like that, if you're combating, you're not on one accord with one another. And so I just want to encourage single women out there, single men, that although we live in a time where it seems as though this type of love has disappeared, it is out there and it is possible. But you have to work on yourself first through Christ, because you can't be anything for anybody else unless you know who you are. So find out who you are in the Lord. Find out what's important to you, what values are important to you, how you want to be respected and how you want to be treated, and vice versa. This is for men and women. You find out those things first, then you can be what you need to be for somebody else. So be encouraged. Know that biblical love is real. This is the definition. It's patience, kindness, forgiveness too. Because like I said, you will make mistakes sometimes because we're not perfect. And but mistakes can be fixed. You can change. You can become a better person. I tell people all the time, don't let your past dictate who you are. Don't let your past dictate your future. A lot of people would see me and think, oh, she has it together. She's perfect. She doesn't do anything wrong. And that's the complete opposite. I didn't have it easy. My life is nothing compared to somebody else's, because I know there's somebody out there that's gone through worse things than me. But we all have our walks. We all have our struggles. We all have areas of improvement. We should be evolving every day of our lives. So when we have our sad days, when we might feel some loneliness, but it needs to be fulfilled in your relationship with the Lord. And when you get sad, cry. Let it out. Write it in a journal. Don't hold it in. Because when you hold it in, that's when anger and bitterness comes into your heart. And you can't live like that. Anger and bitterness will keep you in chains. It'll keep you living in the past. You have to let it go and move forward in positivity. So be encouraged, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this topic. Write a comment. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me if you even like these topics, these talks that I do on Wednesday. I kind of enjoy it. It gives me an opportunity to speak, but I just wish there was some interaction. I can't wait till I can start doing them live, and hopefully people can join and start asking questions. And we should just start having conversations, positive ones. I'm not for the debate in the sense of we disrespect each other and we yell and holler and nobody hears anybody. Let's have a real conversation and sit down and everybody just discuss their thoughts and come to some middle ground. Doesn't mean that we'll always agree. Nope. Because everybody is unique in their own way, and that's okay. So I'm trying to think. I feel like there was something more that I was thinking about the topic that I wanted to say. But now that I'm in the moment, I'm like, I don't think there's anything else. But don't look to celebrities for love advice. They're people too. They're people too. And you never know what somebody is going through behind closed doors. Behind closed doors. It's just like a story. The book. You open it up. The cover might be so exciting. And then you open up and start reading it and you're like, what the heck is this? I do not like this story. And you put it down. So don't judge a book by its cover. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. So I do talks every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you will be notified the next time there is a video that pops up on my channel. On this channel, we talk about life, land, loves, and more. And so that's why it's important for us to talk about life on Wednesday, because people are going through it and you're not alone. Sometimes it feels like we're going through things on our own, but that's not true. So, until next time, my friends, I'm out. Maverick, I don't know about that. I gotta edit this. I gotta edit it. Edit. 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 Edit.